Our next gold medal winner, Joel Feldman, is also committed to making our roads safer. He has turned unspeakable tragedy into a cause that all of us can embrace. It is my pleasure to call up past President Michael Donahue to present the award to Joel Feldman. Michael?
Thank you very much, Lynn. Joel Feldman is a remarkable person, and that goes far beyond his skills and his astounding accomplishments as a trial lawyer. In 2009, Joel's daughter, Casey, was killed by a distracted driver. But rather than succumb to the devastation that he felt, Joel made it his mission to honor his daughter to end distracted driving. He and his wife, Diane Anderson, founded the organization End Distracted Driving, or NDD, and its mission is to save lives from distracted driving through advocacy, education, and action. Joel worked with Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, CHOP, to develop scientifically based distracted driving presentations, which are given to students across the country at no costs to schools. Joel enlisted the aid of trial lawyers across the country through state TLAs, including NJAJ, and many of you, and if you haven't participated, please do speak to Joel after today, to amass a network of over 500 speakers who give talks across the country. As a result, over 425,000 students in nearly every state of the United States have benefited from NDD presentations. Most recently, I was fortunate enough to spend some time with Joel and to be inspired why Joel gave a presentation not just to students, but to parents as well. Please join this effort with Joel, honor him, honor his family, and join End Distracted Driving. Simply put, Joel's efforts have changed behavior and he's saved lives. And with that, it's my pleasure to award Joel Feldman NJAJ's gold medal. Thank you.
So thank you, Mike. It really is an honor. I'm humbled by it. It's wonderful to be recognized with Steve and everything that Steve's been doing. And as I said to many of you tonight, NJAJ is like a second trial lawyers association for me. You know, Pennsylvania has to come first, guys, but you guys come second. And I have been fortunate enough to speak with lots of trial lawyers and at their associations across the country, and you guys are among the best, really, in terms of what you do, what you stand for. So I'm getting this award in part because my daughter was killed by a distracted driver, and of course for the work that I do. Let me just show you a picture of my daughter. I shouldn't say my daughter, I should say our daughter, because my wife Diane is here, and Diane is certainly been with me from the very beginning, but this is Casey. This is a face of distracted driving. This is our daughter. Although Casey was killed when she was 21, this picture was taken when she was 18, about to graduate high school. And I remember seeing it, and I remember thinking, Casey had her entire life in front of her. She could do anything. She could be anything. There was no limit. And it was taken away in just a few seconds. And you know, I honestly say that I remember Casey today more with smiles than with tears, but there are certainly tears. There's certainly tears. You know, I'm alive and my child is dead. And I mean, I kind of think that kind of says it, and I'm never going to fully come to terms with that. I never will. But I am fortunate for all the help that I get from trial lawyers, from New Jersey Association of Justice Trial Lawyers, as Mike talked about, across the country. Remembering Casey, and remembering Casey in a way that is making a difference. So Casey's favorite color was pink. Consequently, whenever I give a talk, I wear pink, but we also have pink wristbands. I started out with one pink wristband, and I've now done, they tell me, about 750 to 800 talks to about 150,000 people. And I started out with one wristband, the pink one for Casey, and I have moms and dads and brothers and sisters coming up to me after presentation saying, these are just the young ladies. My daughter's favorite color was pink, was green, was lavender. Would you wear this wristband to remember her? And would you do everything you can so this doesn't happen to anyone else? And these are the guys over here. All these wristbands to remember dead kids. I have one wristband, and I could look at these, and I can see the faces on, and the moms are the toughest for me, and I look at the pink one, and I see my wife's face. The toughest one for me was one that a mom gave me, and she gave it to me. Her daughter was in a one-car crash, and she ran off the road, and she died. And she gave it to me and said, would you remember my daughter, wear this wristband? And then she asked me this question. Do you think my daughter was texting at the time she died because she saw me do it all the time? And there is such hypocrisy, unfortunately, from all of us, probably most of us in this room. I drove distracted before Casey was killed, but I changed. Do we have any moms or dads here? If we have moms or dads, let's raise our hands. Now, keep your hands up for me if you would do anything to keep your children safe. Now, only keep your hand up if you haven't driven distracted with your kids in the car. So maybe one or two of you. So that's the rest of us. It's not enough to tell our kids not to drive distracted. We have to be the drivers we want our children to be. And we can do this. It's preventable. We can do this. And with trial lawyers all across the country, I mean, this is a trial lawyer cause, saving kids, keeping kids safe from distracted driving. So I just tell you quickly that we have, I think we've talked to, with your help, about 20,000 kids in New Jersey, which is great. But there's 450,000 kids in high school in New Jersey, 450,000. We will get the presentations, but we just don't have enough speakers. So we need you folks to volunteer. Who has given a talk? If you'd raise your hand. Okay, so there've been a fair number of you. So you can talk to these folks, and they'll tell you how easy it is to give this talk. So one of the things that we're working on now is, in addition to elementary school curriculum, we've been asked to develop that by some experts. We're working with people. The idea is if we get to the kids early enough, they're going to bug mom and dad. They'll tell mom and dad not to pick up the phone, and when they get to become drivers, hopefully they'll never become distracted drivers. So with that, I changed the way I drive because my daughter Casey was killed by a distracted driver. It shouldn't have to take a tragedy for all of us to change the way we drive. It's the right thing, it's the respectful thing, it's the caring thing, and we need to do this for our kids. Our kids, 60% of kids' crashes are now related to distraction. So there is something we can do. We're doing it already, and I'm very, very thankful for that, for Mike and everyone else, but we need to do more. But thank you so much for this award. I'm going to bug you guys and gals to make sure that we get more of you out there. We're going to set up talks, a lot more talks in New Jersey, and thank you all so very, very much. Thank you.